Good day everyone, welcome to the third session of the lesson. In this session, Miss Stella will assist you to learn about the second part of speech.
Hello, I am Miss Stella. In the previous session, we discussed noun in detail. In this video, we are going to learn about pronouns. Are you ready? Let us begin.
Miss, since there is word noun in pronoun, does it have relation to noun?
Yes, Cindy. A pronoun is a word that is used in the place of a noun or noun phrase. For example, Mary went for a walk. One of the nouns in the sentence is Mary, and we can replace Mary with pronoun she, so it becomes she went for a walk.
Why do we need a pronoun to replace a noun, Miss?
Look at these sentences. When Susie arrived at the party, Susie knew Susie had made a mistake. Susie saw that Susie did not fit in with Susie's new friends.
That's a lot of Susies.
That's right. Instead, we prefer to say, when Susie arrived at the party, she knew she had made a mistake. Susie saw that she did not fit in with her new friends. We need pronouns because pronouns make our speech and writing less boring. We do not have to continually repeat our subject. We can identify our subject in a variety of ways other than by name. However, we do not have to always replace nouns with pronouns because it will create confusion. For example, she told him that she would go with her friends to his party. We do not understand who the subject is or whom the subject is talking to. We need nouns to complete the idea. We can say, Amy told Ben that she would go with her friends to his party. Pronouns are categorized into several types. We will discuss it one by one in the next part of this video. Here is the brief explanation. Personal pronoun. Personal pronouns refer to specific person or thing in a sentence and can be divided into two groups, subject and object pronoun. Subject pronoun. Subject pronoun is who or what the sentence is about. It acts as a subject in a sentence. For example, Tommy and I played soccer. We played soccer. We is a pronoun of the noun phrase Tommy and I, and it tells who the sentence is about. We is the subject pronoun. Object pronoun. Meanwhile, object pronoun is someone or something that receives the action of the subject. It acts as an object in a sentence. For example, she called Andy. She called him. Him is a pronoun of the noun Andy, and him is receiving the action called, so him is an object pronoun. Here is the list of personal pronouns. Examples: in each pair, the first sentence shows a subject pronoun, the second an object pronoun. I like coffee. John helped me. Do you like coffee? John loves you, etc. Look at this sentence. Them or they feel comfortable with people who agree with them. Which one is the correct one? Do we use them or they? Yes, that's right. The answer is they because them is the object pronoun and we need a subject instead of an object. We also have possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are pronouns that help us show possession or ownership in a sentence. There are two types of possessive pronouns: the weak possessive pronouns, also called possessive adjective, and the strong or absolute possessive pronouns. Here is the list of possessive adjective and possessive pronouns. Possessive adjectives function as determiners in front of a noun to describe who something belongs to. For example, I said, "That's my phone." My describes the phone belongs to I or the first person singular in the sentence. Note, there is always a noun after the possessive adjective. Meanwhile, possessive pronouns refer back to a noun or noun phrase already used, replacing it to avoid repetition. For example, I said that phone was mine. Mine is the possessive pronoun of the noun phrase my phone. We don't need any noun here because it's already replaced by the pronoun. Mine phone is incorrect. Look at this example. I don't like their or theirs apartment. Which one is the answer? We need something to describe the possession of the noun apartment. Therefore, we need a possessive adjective instead of a pronoun. The answer is their. I don't like their apartment because their belongs to a possessive adjective. Meanwhile, in this sentence, that's not my problem. It's yours or your. Which one is the answer? We need something to refer back to a noun phrase your problem. The answer is yours. That's not my problem. It's yours because yours is a possessive pronoun that refers to your problem. Here are possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. Reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object of a sentence are the same. The subject and the object in a sentence refer to the same person or thing. For example, she took herself to the hospital. In this example, she is the subject of the sentence, took is the verb, but whom did she take? The answer is herself. Another example, we didn't decorate it ourselves, someone else did it for us. We is the subject and ourself is the reflexive pronoun that refers back to the subject we. Reflexive pronouns are formed by adding self, singular, and selves, plural, to a personal pronoun. Here is the list of reflexive pronouns. Compare these two sentences. Mia looked at herself in the mirror. Mia looked at her in the mirror. In the first sentence, the object and the subject are the same. On the other hand, in the second sentence, the object is different from the subject. Mia is looking at someone else in the mirror. Other examples, he cut himself on the broken glass. And parents often blame themselves for the way their children behave. We can use reflexive pronouns for emphasis. The owner of the company himself wrote to us to apologize for the dreadful service. We don't use reflexive pronouns on their own as the subject of a clause, but we can use them with a noun or pronoun to emphasize the subject. My sister herself told me that she did not want to go. We often use reflexive pronouns with by to mean alone or without any help. The children did the homework by themselves. This is the table of pronouns that we have already learned so far. Interrogative pronoun. We use interrogative pronouns to ask questions. The interrogative pronoun represents the thing that we don't know or what we are asking about. Here is the list of interrogative pronoun: who, whom, what, which, whose. What, used to ask questions about people or objects. Examples: what did you eat last night? What is it that bothering you so much? What movie are we going to watch tonight? What is your friend's name? Who, used to ask questions about people. Subject: who taught you to ride a bike? Who would have thought it's going to be this difficult? Whom, used to ask questions about people. Object: whom did you bump into at the party last night? Whom did you speak to? Whom do you prefer to vote for? Which, used to ask questions about choices. Which gate I'm supposed to enter? Which one do you prefer between these two ties? Which question you cannot answer? I'll try to help. Whose, used to ask questions about people or object, always related to possession. Whose pen is this I'm using? Whose sweater is this? Whose parents are those? Relative pronoun. A relative pronoun is used to connect a clause or phrase to a noun or pronoun. The clause modifies or describes the noun. We use relative pronouns to introduce relative clauses. Relative clauses tell us more about people and things. For example, this is the tree house. My father built the tree house. We can combine these two clauses with a relative pronoun. This is the tree house which my father built. Which my father built is a relative clause that makes clear which tree house we are talking about. This is a list of relative pronouns: who, which, that, whose, and whom. There are two kinds of relative clause. One, we use relative clauses to make clear which person or thing we are talking about. Marie Curie is the woman who discovered radium. Who discovered radium is a relative clause that tells more about the noun Marie Curie. We also use relative clauses to give more information about a person, thing, or situation. Bill Murray, who is 79, has just retired. With this kind of relative clause, we use commas to separate it from the rest of the sentence. Whose and whom. We use whose as the possessive form of who. This is George, whose brother went to school with me. George's brother and the speaker are from the same school. We sometimes use whom as the object of a verb. This is George, whom you met at our house last year. When and where. We can use when with times and where with places to make it clear which time or place we are talking about. I remember my 20th birthday. It was the day when the tsunami happened. Do you remember the place where we caught the train? Demonstrative pronoun. What are demonstrative pronouns? Like all pronouns, they replace nouns. Demonstrative pronouns are used to replace specific people or things that have been previously mentioned or are understood from context. They can work both as subjects as well as objects, usually describing places, things, animals, and people. A demonstrative pronoun tells us whether it is replacing something singular or plural, and whether that thing is close by or farther away. These are demonstrative pronouns: this, that, these, those. This and that replace singular nouns. This represents something close by. This is very smelly. That represents something farther away. You can smell that from here. These and those replace plural nouns. These represent something close by. These smell rotten. Those represent something farther away. Do not paint those.
Is this in I borrowed this book a week ago a pronoun?
This in that sentence is a demonstrative adjective. Do not confuse demonstrative pronouns with demonstrative adjectives. They are identical, but a demonstrative pronoun stands alone, while a demonstrative adjective qualifies a noun. That smells, demonstrative pronoun. That book is good, demonstrative adjective plus noun. Indefinite pronoun. An indefinite pronoun is a pronoun that refers to an unspecified or unidentified person or thing. They are called indefinite simply because they do not indicate the exact object to which they refer. Most indefinite pronouns are either singular or plural. However, some of them can be singular in one context and plural in another. The most common indefinite pronouns are listed below as singular, plural, or both. Singular indefinite pronouns. Most indefinite pronouns take singular verbs, either because they represent one thing or because they are collective, and like collective nouns, agree with singular verbs and pronouns. For example, neither of us is available for the committee. Each member of the family has the flu. Everyone works well together. Plural indefinite pronouns. Plural indefinite pronouns take plural verbs. For example, both of us match the description. Many were hoping for a better outcome. Few were optimistic about this game. Variable indefinite pronouns. Variable indefinite pronouns can go with either a plural or a singular verbs, based on what noun they are talking about. Can you count what's being talked about? Then give it a plural verb. For example, most employees are getting a raise. All the ice is gone. Some ice cubes are in that cooler. That's all about pronouns.
Now I have a better understanding about pronouns.
See you on the next session with other part of speech.